What's up, everybody? Scribble Maker here. Today I have an updated deck profile for Jim Crocodile. He is the one that won the most recent tournament. Uh, his deck was just very consistent, and I mean the fossils have had their time of being uh, an engine in some meta decks recently, not like real recently, but more recently than like any other uh, character deck has in their cards. I think the other one would be Golden Castle from Leon's deck, but when Jim Crocodile's deck was just nothing but three of everything, it was very consistent. Like, it was the deck out of all the character decks that was more like a meta tier deck as opposed to other characters where it's just a monster mash of a monster mash of a deck, I guess is the right way to put it. But put some proxies in here of other cards he used in the anime that hopefully kinda dilutes the deck a little bit to being more character deck friendly. So we'll see if it actually does, or if it's just still top of the line. But get right into it with the fusion deck. First, we have Fossil Dragon Skullgar, Fossil Dragon Skullgaios, Fossil Machine Skull Buggy, Fossil Machine Skull Convoy, Fossil Machine Skull Wagon, Fossil Warrior Skull Bone, Fossil Warrior Skull King, and Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. So a lot of the cards that were at 3 of before have been, moved down to about 2 ofs and such, just to make room for the anime proxies of cards that are not real life cards yet of his deck. So first is 2 Flint Kragger, 2 Fossil Dyna, Pacephalo. I feel like I always say that name wrong. One of the ones that still stayed at 3 copies is Gaia Plate, the Earth Giant. Hopefully that's not a mistake leaving that one at 3 and downsizing the rest of the deck. But again, we'll see. Trial and error. 2 Skull Knight. 2 Weathering Soldier. 2 copies, of Uluru's Guardian. Before I had Obsidian Dragon in here, because it was like the closest thing of a real life card to this, minus the negation of a card. But I mean, he couldn't be targeted or whatever it was on the actual card, so it was the closest thing. Now I went with the actual anime card, so we'll see if it's better or worse. 2 Sample Fossil. Then we got 2 Fossil Fusion. This was at 3 of before. Now with the proxies in here, I reduced it. And I mean, in terms of anime, he only actually had 2 copies in his deck, so that kind of works out. 2 Half-Life. Miracle Rupture is still staying at 3. 2 Pot of Avarice. 2 Specimen Inspection. 2 Time Stream. 2 Dowsing Burn. 2 Field Spells of Sacred Defense Barrier. 2 Fossil Hammer. 2 2 Uluru, the Guardian Spirit, 2 Sakuretsu armor, and 2 copies of Call of the Haunted, which rounds out Jim Crocodile's deck. Updated. See if it's better or worse. I'm imagining it is worse, which is a good thing in terms of anime character duels. If I was doing competitive new support or whatever of like every single character, then by all means I would keep it as consistent as possible, in which case this probably wouldn't be the best deck in terms of that. But we'll see. And like I said, this is the last updated deck profile. I don't see any of the other ones that need to be updated at this moment. And we will be getting the bracket ready and doing this tournament, DM, and then GX at some point. And like I said, it will be the top 8 from Duel Monsters in that tournament and the top 8 from GX in that tournament, doing a Masters tournament, if you will, of 8 from each. So it'll be 16 duelists to see who comes out on top in that. So I'm excited to do this, and I will see you guys then. Take care.